Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
And there we are on Wednesday night, split-second timing. I think I finally figured it out.
Unbelievable. We got it down. We got it
down pat.
What a difference a week makes, Bob.
Yeah, for you.
Well, this time last week, we were, actually, we should begin by saying welcome, everyone, to RVing in New England. It's our 17th year doing this show. And
we started when we were in high school.
You started in high school. We want to thank everyone. I see Walter is here. Walter, how did you like the show? And I'm looking for him to write his answer down. And did you bump into Walter the other night? There you go.
Walter and Donna.
That answers that question.
We attended the Palm Beach Garden show, courtesy of you and Chuck Jacobs in the band. And we also had Marty Hanoud and Twinnie Hanoud with us. Mark. And people will remember Marty and Twinnie as the founders of Marty's USRV in Berkeley, Mass. He was New England's, for decades, highline dealer. Monaco, Fleetwood, Airstream. They sold it all down there, and they sold to Camping World several years ago. And they live over in West Palm Beach.
And retirement seems to have agreed with Marty. He looks
fantastic.
Well-tanned and whatever. But I don't know. Did you get to go back at all? Did you try to reach?
Go back where?
Did you try to go backstage at all?
No.
Okay, I told Chuck that you'd give him a call.
Well, he called me. We talked from the lobby. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
You wanted to make sure we get the tickets all right.
Good. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it was a nice intimate theater at Palm Beach College.
Yep. Cool. So, Palm Beach College.
Yeah.
Palm Beach State.
I don't know. Palm Beach Community College, I think.
Okay, because there was one Palm Beach State College that might have been right next to the. I'll have to check on that. That might have been immediately next door to the campground that we were staying in for 4 days in West Palm.
I don't know. I think
it
was about 20 minutes from Marty's house.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so because this time last week we were down there and we had a crazy show because we did not know what was going to happen. People wondering, why do you have the hat on? Is because my hair is an absolute mess. I got to get a haircut. And Bob has different issues.
I have a different situation. I don't have any hair, so I don't.
So
I still get the hole in my head. So we're letting that cure itself.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm the guest here. You run the show.
You're kind of like the guest who's going to cover your 5 weeks in Florida.
I'm not used to being the guest because,
tell them when you started.
Yesterday, you and I were the guest with Chris and Randy, but it started with one of those videos with the snow-covered thing. But thanks to our friend at Campers Inn, Larry Peter, they were able to get us garage and pit passes for the Daytona 500. And we really appreciate it because you see something. Well, put it this way. If I had the time to send you all of the videos, I'd bore you. But we were 15 feet away from the beast, which is...
Before you do that, let's show them how you took off.
So, for those of you that are worried about the record hot temperatures in Florida, all I'm asking you to do is save me some warmth. Because I was supposed to be out of here today. But, you know what? Rather leave safely on good roads than try to head out of New England in bad weather. So, it's supposed to be 40 tomorrow. It's about 30 right now. And it's snowing. Actually, it just finished snowing. But tonight we're supposed to get what do you call it? More ice. So tomorrow's the day we head for Florida.
It seemed like ages ago. But you know what? We did 4,224 miles. And, 4,204 miles. We got back at 9:30 last night. I'm still rattled from the driving on the interstates, which are, I'm sure Bob and everybody who's agreed here, let's look at this list here. Anybody who's driven down 95, Walter's done it several occasions. You've done it several occasions. Dante's done it. From state to state, the roads change so much as far as the quality of the road surface is concerned. But anyway, we made it, and we are very, very grateful to have a incident-free trip. Although there was one moment on one night we were driving at night, and I was in the right lane. There was a trailer truck passing me and another trailer truck to his left in the passing lane. And as the truck was passing me, it blew a tire, luckily on the left side of the car, the left side of the truck. And I thought, we're either being shot at or there's a nuclear attack, but we made it. And anyway.
Walter says it was Palm Beach State College, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
And that was right.
Our historian. So it's right next to where you were?
Right next door to where we stayed for 5 days and 4 days there. I drove by it every day when I went into West Palm. So pretty cool. It was a county park. We can get into that now. That was a county park. And, we're going to talk about private campgrounds. We're going to talk about harvest hosts. We're going to talk about state parks. We're going to talk about national parks. But down there in Palm Beach, it was a county park, 333 spots, all with full hookups. And pretty exciting. So, Walter, thank you for that.
Now, you left here. You were winterized, and then somewhere along the way, you got de-winterized.
Yeah. We got down to Selma, North Carolina, which is just on the outskirts of Raleigh, and there's a Campers Inn store that we stopped at last year. And we stopped it this year. And let me tell you one thing, folks, especially those that are, doing long distance travel and are not handy with fixing stuff like me. Not like I'm handy. I'm not handy. So I have to depend upon others to do it. And the last thing I want to do is to try to save money by de-winterizing or winterizing my own unit and finding out that I miss a bypass valve or miss emptying the water tank or whatever. So I think it's very important to have a lifeline, if you will, of places that you can stop if you have any issues. So we had an appointment at Campers Inn in Selma on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And we got there at noontime, and our friend who dealt with us last year said, I can take you right now, Mr. DePietro. Come on in. So they took us right now. They de-winterized, and we were out of there by the time our appointment was scheduled for. And ironically, they did the same thing on the way back where I was running ahead of schedule. So it's very important. And one thing about Campers Inn is that all along 95 from New Hampshire all the way into Florida, you'll find a store not more than 100 miles away from each other. And we had more of an opportunity to use them last year because we ran into some issues, less of an opportunity this year. But again, we want to thank them for allowing us last year when Bob and I went to Daytona 500 to sit up in the pit stands with in in the pit area with their, at the Daytona 500. Pretty exciting, right, Bob?
Great time. Great time.
Yep.
Everybody should go at least once.
Yep. So one of the other stops that we made on the way down is at a place that I sing the praises of. Zagami doesn't sing the praises of it. We have some other friends that are not in love with the place.
That's not true. It's growing on me.
It's growing on you, like a fungus, right? So I think there's a button there that you can hit.
Hey, there's nowhere like it in New England or the Northeast, but there are plenty of places like it down south in Florence, South Carolina. We are at the world famous Buc-ee's. 200 gas pumps right here. That's right, folks. 200 gas pumps. You never wait in line. Although busy times you wait in line. The parking. This is empty right now. This is considered empty. We're going to go in the store, show you what's going on, and hold on to you.
Now you said, I think you said when we were taping the other show, you stopped at 2 Buc-ee's?
Yeah, on the way back. Well, we stopped at 3 on the way down.
Yeah.
3. We stopped in Florence, South Carolina, and Jacksonville, and then there's another one 53 miles away in Daytona. Now, interesting, Walter Swenson probably knows the exact date, but they're building one now that is opening in July in Brunswick, Georgia. So there'll be a little bit of a break between North Carolina and Georgia. And I'm told that there are several others under consideration in Florida, with Ocala being one of them. I don't know if there's anything coming down the Fort Myers area, but
I haven't heard anything. No.
Yeah. Dante says a 7-Eleven on steroids. That's more than steroids, Dante. I'll tell you. But
not a good comparison, Dante.
Yeah. But Dante, thank you for bringing up 7-Eleven, because it was something that I mentioned yesterday, and I think it's important. A lot of times people stop at the exact same stations. I mean, I kind of like Wawa because they have good coffee. I don't like Sheetz because they have terrible coffee.
You don't drink coffee. You cannot be a judge of coffee. I drink more coffee in one day than you drink in 6 months.
I know that. But here was a case where
what qualifies you to be a coffee taster?
Because I've tasted coffee. That's all you need. It's the only qualification necessary. Although on this trip, my wife has fallen in love with Love's coffee.
Yeah,
several Loves.
It's great coffee. Yeah.
Okay. Several Loves. Where at the time that Love's has gotten bigger and better and cleaner, Pilot and Flying J and TA, in my opinion, have fallen off the mark a little bit, where we used to be big Pilot and Flying J fans. So there was one stop that we made on the way back where at one intersection, one station was $3.74 for diesel, and directly across the street, that was either a Pilot or a Flying J. Directly across the street was a brand new 7-Eleven for $3.19 for diesel. Okay. And as I pulled in and went up to the pump, it must have been their grand opening celebration. They said, sign up for texts and save another 5 cents off per gallon. So we got diesel for $3.14 a gallon. And there are parts of Florida, Bob, I think I know, down in Boca, if you're on one side of I-95, it was $3.79 a gallon. If you're on the east side of, not 395, of Interstate 95, it was $4.59 a gallon.
Yeah, I don't know who sets the prices, but when we were up at Fort Myers yesterday, the day before, and similar to you, I'm at an intersection, And I look over to the left, and the Shell gas station is $2.86 a gallon. I had,
For
I had filled
regular.
up. I had filled up in Ave Maria for
For regular.
$3.21 before we left, and I looked at May, and she looked at me. She said, "That can't be right." And diagonally across the street, and this is regular gas, guy was up to $3.29.
Yeah. For the exact same thing. And it's not like it's miles away from each other. They're at the same intersection.
Well, when you first told me that story, I asked you if you were in two different states. Maybe
No.
you did it on the state line, but no, it wasn't the case.
No. Although I did that, I avoid buying gas in Pennsylvania because I think it's the highest on the trip. And New Jersey used to be the cheapest by sometimes 20 cents a gallon. But they
pump it for you, right?
Yeah, they still pump it for you.
Yeah.
But they added a bunch of taxes in New Jersey, so now New Jersey's not.
Isn't Connecticut more expensive than Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania is, I think it was 4. It was definitely over 4. That's at the Flying J and pilots, but they're always higher anyway. Yeah. But like Love's gives you a 15%. If you have the app, you get a 15-cent off per gallon discount on fuel. So it works out. Where were we? We got to Buc-ee's.
Yes, we got to Buc-ee's.
What's the next slide? What's the next picture I have there?
Well, we got several, but now this is one place that you like and I dislike.
So the journey begins. Here we go. Keep you posted.
Guys, hey audience, what's your take? Dante, Jim Roy, Frank Palange. Frank has been up and down 95. Do you guys stop at Waffle House at all? I would say Frank probably doesn't if he's pulling his rig.
Because it might not be there when he gets done with breakfast.
Yeah. 247 a gallon. No, he must be talking regular gas.
That's Texas.
Yeah, Hawes is talking regular gas. It can't be diesel.
Right.
Yeah, Dante does stop. Palange, have you ever stopped at Waffle House? It's good. We've been disappointed the last couple of times because there haven't been any employee arguments. Usually there's an employee argument about somebody that stole the other person's order off the grill. They made eggs, home fries, and grits for the person sitting in booth 1 from waitress A, but waitress B stole it. And then the two waitresses are duking it out. No Waffle House for Frank. Must be too hazardous to get in. Even with our Class C, you can't put a RV in any Waffle House parking lot. Although I think in Pennsylvania we did find one.
Yeah. So, one boat with Cracker Barrel. That Cracker Barrel's good.
Cracker Barrel has really.
They serve wine now too and beer.
What we were shocked at that. There's one directly across the street from adjacent to the park at Daytona. And we stopped there, had something to eat, and then they said, "Would you like a beer or wine?" And my wife said, "What?" So, yeah, Buc-ee's $3.19 down there, and across the street it will be, $3.79 or $3.80. Yeah. Frank likes Cracker Barrel, so we stayed at the Cracker Barrel while we were waiting for Campers Inn to open on Monday morning. Sunday night, we stayed at the Cracker Barrel. That's the only one that we stayed at on this trip. What else? So another thing to keep in mind, along with those gas prices, is the wide variety of campgrounds that there are to stay at, whether it's campgrounds or places to stay. And also, Bob, I want to get into car camping and bike camping, because those are two other things that we experienced on this trip. And we certainly ask if any of our viewers right now have experienced this. but I think we've got a little video there of Spacious Skies. Yeah, that was in Savannah Oaks. I think there's might be another little part there of their new.
Were you standing on the highway when you shot that?
Yeah, well, you know what? It wasn't the interstate, but the interstate was like the Route 9 road there. There was a lot of crowd noise, but the good part about that Savannah Oaks in Savannah metro area is that it's 5 minutes off the interstate. And again, if you are traveling from the northeast to the southeast, you're probably not interested in a lot of the local attractions because you want to get to Florida or you want to get to New England. But Savannah Oaks, Matt was the manager there, the nicest people. We always want to thank Allie for setting us up. And
Allie Rasmussen, the CEO.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good friend of ours. Yeah. Great company. They're up to 15 campgrounds now.
17
campgrounds.
17, oh. Yeah. Frank Palanch has a very interesting question here. Because there were two restaurants, not one, but two, that had surcharges on eggs. One is Waffle House, 50 cents an egg. So if you get a platter with 2 scrambled eggs or 2 fried eggs, it's $1 more. And do you know if you stop killing chickens, egg prices come down? I guess. I guess it's a supply and demand thing. And now, Bob, we got to take a guess here. Good Sam, we don't know whether it's Rhonda or Joe.
I think
if it's Rhonda, there's no Bruins game tonight.
Right. She must be in mourning. She must have decorated in black and wreaths the house, and probably has visiting hours and a picture of Brad Marchand in the foyer, so you can come in and pay your respects to him.
Who won that game last night? I'm wondering what team won.
I don't know. Either she or Jim Roy will tell us. He's
Joe. We haven't heard from Joe in a while. Nice to have you here, Joe. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Okay. What? You know, when you get Palanch, you get Cavosa as that's like a buy one get one free deal. The Bruins beat Florida 3-2. Jim Roy, Boston.
See, there you go. Jim says Bruins 3-2.
Yeah, Bruins 3-2. And
Jim, I don't follow hockey. I used to years ago, but was that a shock? I mean, it was a shock to me, but I don't follow. And was that rumored or?
It was a shock it was a shock to Brad because I don't know how many years he spent with the team, but it was considerable.
Long time, yeah.
Long time. And he said, I planned on retiring there, but evidently he's not in love with the general manager. So that kind of ended that relationship. So where do we go after that? We're trying to keep this chronological.
They're losing tonight, apparently.
16 years with the Bruins. Wow, that's amazing that anybody, you know what's amazing? That you can play 16 years of pro hockey, because that is a game that you get the tar beat out of you. You get the tar beat out of you. So anyway, you know, it's like pro football. I mean, what did they say? The average career is 2.2 years.
Well, if he played 16 years, and assuming, I don't know if he went to college, but high school would be 18 and.
Well, you go to the juniors, so you're about 20.
Close to 40 years old.
Yep, or 36. So say he was 20 when he started, because those kids go to high school, then they go to the juniors.
So it's 36. I mean, 35, 40 years old playing a game like hockey. I'll go back to our resident expert, Jim Roy. What are they top? What's the oldest hockey player you know? Not necessarily the Bruins, but somebody else. But I would think that there aren't that many people that approach 40 playing pro hockey.
I think Gordie Howe played at a high.
36 years old.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. He played juniors, then the Bruins, and so he's 36. And you get out of high school at 18.
Yeah.
And unless you're Don Gatlin, you get out of high school when you're 31. Did he use that? They used that line the other night.
No.
Didn't Steve say? But you got to understand, when Don was in middle school, he was 20.
Oh, yes, yeah, he did, yeah.
Oh, and then Walter, you'll get a kick out of this. One of the nights that were there, the middle school principal was in the audience from Butler, from Pennsylvania, where there you go. Did I give you that, or
no? I shot that
with a telephoto.
Yeah,
telephoto lens.
No, that was actually my phone.
Oh wow, that came out really good.
Well, we had good seats.
Yep.
They had a substitute guitar. What was the deal with the substitute guitar player?
Well, Brian, who's the guy? See the guy dressed in black? He's not the regular one.
Right.
Brian plays with another band that had another gig that night, and then the drummer was a substitute drummer because the regular drummer, Mike Zimmerman, his daughter had their first grandchild the week before, the night of the first show. So, in fact, they're playing tonight in Kuntstown, Pennsylvania, and I think Mike is back with them tonight.
Yeah, they were great. Both of those fill-ins. I mean, you couldn't even tell the difference.
No, they played really well.
A young kid on the guitar, man, could he play that?
Yep. His father is Clint Black's drummer. So last week we had Randy Rogers on the show. And the thing I didn't tell our audience, because it didn't happen until after the show, last Wednesday night, wherever the show was, there was some audience members that were really getting into the show. So I went up to them at halftime and said, stay here right after the show and I'll bring you back. You can meet the band. And so we did. And there were about 7 or 8 of them. And they were all from Brooklyn and the Bronx. And they came backstage and we took pictures with the band. And then one of them said, do you want to get a picture with Elizabeth? Who's Elizabeth?
Taylor.
It was Trump's sister that was back there with us as well. So anyway, that was pretty cool.
So John, just for some that may not know your affiliation, but all you guys know, John's got his own consulting company in sales and marketing and does wonderful things with Marriott, but he also happens to represent Kenny Rogers' band. Tell him what you're doing with the band.
Well, we're booking shows. We're booking shows in New England. We've got a couple coming up in the fall. And if anybody knows of any venues in New England, 700 to 1,000 seats or 500 to 700 seats, and wants a good show, we'll come put the show on.
Also campgrounds, right?
Right. Yeah. Kenny had a very, very loyal following in New England. In fact, in the Northeast was his number one fan base. They played more shows up here than anywhere else. There are times when he would play Portland, Maine one night, Bangor, Maine the next night, Lowell the third night, Worcester the fourth night, Providence the fifth night. Big E, that's right, Frank. You're absolutely right. And that is something that I'm going to write down right now. Big E. There you go. Hey, ask Walter. Walter's been to a couple of the shows. And obviously Kenny is not with us, but the band, Bob, can you go back to that other picture there for a second? That the band, that's the band. That's not a tribute band. That is the band. And Don Gatlin, the guy holding the microphone, is the lead singer, but he doesn't try to be Kenny Rogers, but he sings very much like Kenny Rogers. And
well, he's a star in his own right too.
Right, exactly.
He's been doing cruise ships lately, and got his own band.
Yep, exactly. Frank, we'll have to put you on the payroll. You know anybody at MGM? Oh, that's right, Stadium Theater. Thanks, Joe.
How about the Topsail Fair has entertainment?
Yeah. Topfield Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 leads.
There
Perfect.
you go.
Yep.
Yeah. We got to get them to the Brady boys.
Yeah, right. To
Alliance RV.
Yep.
And might still have time to do the Winnebago rally.
Canceled.
What?
Not happening this year.
The Grand Rally?
Gone.
I didn't see that.
Yep. Not happening this year.
You must be on the special list.
Maybe because I went a few years ago. But,
yeah. Well, how about dealer open house? Contact Thor or Forest River, play one against the other.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be great. I mean, it is such a great show, but it everybody loves it. I mean, he was kidding at the show the other day. There was 3 young ladies in the front row, and he asked them when they were born. They weren't born until 1999. They were 25 years old, but they had taken their grandparents to the show. So he was having a lot of fun with the young ladies not remembering songs or who people were, and their grandparents had a great time with them. But it fits all genres. I mean, all demographics. Whether you're 19 or 99.
Look at these people with these events here. Thompson Point, they played there. Actually, that's the spot on the left, right by the train station, if I recall, Dante, right? Yeah, in Indian Ranch.
Yeah, that's the one right on off 295.
Yeah, over on the left, right by the airport, the end of the runway.
Yep.
We've got another pending one up in Sanford, Maine, so I don't want to can't put them too close to each other.
Hey, Don, just get your contact information, John. They should be playing at the campground or the Big Red Schoolhouse down there. You got people down there?
Oh, down. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah, Indian Ranch.
Indian Ranch, yep.
Good one, Joe.
Yep. Thanks, Joe. These are all good.
Stadium Theater in Woonsocket.
Woonsocket, yeah, that's a good one. They do all tribute bands there. And this is not a tribute band. That's the thing.
Mohegan Sun and Foxwoods have the smaller venues, the cabaret type.
The thing is, for every call you make, only 1 out of 5 people calls you back. That's it's sales, but that's the hard part. You just got to.
When you do the Florida tour next year, we get started early and get them over here at the Seminole Casino.
Moose. What do you call it? The Immokalee.
Yeah, Immokalee. Yeah. They're part of Hard Rock, or Hard Rock owns them.
Yeah, right.
I saw Lee Greenwood there 2 or 3 weeks ago, right after the inauguration.
Right.
We saw
He was somewhere else.
What a great show.
Yep.
He's he rivals Kenny. I mean, they knew each other. Greenwood's on his 5th wife too.
Yeah, and the Greenwood used to open for Kenny. That's how I met him. So, and he's 80 years old, 81 years old.
Yeah.
Lee Greenwood, and he still gets around that stage pretty well.
I'll tell you, he moves around that stage. Yep. Yeah. I don't move like that anymore.
The TexasAnthems.com.
I don't know. I think it means the ranch. I think it means the ranch or the campground at the National RV Training Academy. I think that's what it means.
Anthem.
Unless that's some kind of a show house down there with a lot of the tribute bands. I don't know.
Yeah. What else we got for video there that keep me?
Let me kill that one. Let me go over here. We have boom, boom, boom. We did. What is this one?
Okay. That is a Harvest Host. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Harvest Host, private campgrounds, etc. That was a Harvest Host that had full hookups. Now you had to pay for hookups. I think it was $40. Okay. Or you could come in for free and park in the field. But we had already parked. And that was in Fort Pierce. That was a winery. And then a couple times a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they had live bands there. And it was an actual winery, and that was one of the bands that was playing that day. So that was pretty cool. One of the things with Harvest Host now is they have really upped the amenities in these facilities. You're not just parking it in a parking lot in a field. And that's pretty cool. So Normandy Farms, they're going to be around. They're going to be around next season. Normandy Farms, but all Boule will what? Boule this year? I don't know.
I think he means booked.
Okay. All booked this year.
All booked for this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marsh would love to have them down there. They'd be a big draw.
Yep, exactly. Well, she's got that beautiful facility there, indoors or out. So anyway, so that's that. And because we had them at Margaritaville, which was another one. But the Harvest Hosting. Now, here's another thing. Tell me if you guys have ever experienced this. And we did a segment on it last week with bike camping, bicycle camping. These are people that are traveling not the interstates, but the secondary roads with bikes, sleeping bags, and tents, and they stay at campgrounds. Has anybody
never seen it?
Anybody seen that? We saw it in it was Gamble Rogers State Park in Flagler Beach. Flagler Beach. So has anybody seen bike campers? Let us know. And secondarily, screw that. Frank says, screw that. The other thing is car camping. We've bumped into several car campers where they have like Subarus and that type thing, where they just put a sleeping bag in the back seat and sleep. And, if it's a public campground, they have to, they use the facilities and they have showers, etc. And sometimes, like there was one campground, we found two women that were right near each other that I said, well, they're both traveling together. They were both widows. Their husbands had died in prior to this. And one of them had never camped before. And she stood at home in depression for 2 years. And finally somebody said, you know what? You got to go camping. She said, camping? I've never camped. She said, come with us. So they went in separate cars. And she said the people at the campgrounds were so welcoming. It got her out of her depression. And she's camping 100 days a year. And she still owns a house. But she said, campers are the nicest people, despite the fact that she talked with me. And there was another lady that had a big unit with her husband. The husband died. She didn't want anything to do with it, but she still wanted the camping experience. And she's camping. Of course, their husbands died, both widows. Yeah, right. Thanks, Don.
He wants to be a smartass tonight. Yeah. Dante, when are you heading back? I got to come over there for lunch. Ed Lizarco, glad to have you on here, Ed. Hope you're feeling well. They do that every year on bikes as a special invitation
through Italy's vineyards.
Wow.
I'll tell you, I would not want to go on any roadway in Italy on a bicycle.
Not the way they drive those little Fiats around.
It's dangerous enough on a car, let alone a bicycle. So, he's headed back April 9th. That's pretty much when Florida empties out, it seems.
April 9th. So today's the
March 10th. March what? Right. 12th.
So we got to set a date, Dante. I'll come over and have lunch with you and Laurie and
Zagami.
Yes, sir.
How good your memory is. March 12th, 2020.
The
what
airport.
What are you and I doing?
we were at the Winnebago rally, and we were coming home, and we were in Chicago when the SHIT hit the fan, and we started getting all the text while we were waiting for our flight, wondering if we were even going to get the flight to come home.
Right. Because that was the same time, I think. Yeah, Palm Springs, right?
That's right. That was Palm Springs. Yeah, but
That's-
we had a changeover in Chicago.
Right, because we missed our LA to Boston flight because there was a emergency door that wouldn't close right on our plane, and they tried several things, and finally, what did they do? Duct taped it.
Duct taped it. Right.
They duct taped the inside of the plane.
I'm sitting there, and the attendant is over there putting duct tape on the inside of the escape door. Yeah,
Folks,
real good,
we're not kidding.
Real good feeling. Right?
We're not kidding. We're not kidding. It was raining like hell, and he's sitting out there in a little white truck that said, I don't know what the airline was even. Might have been Delta, whatever, but it was one of the smaller planes. It wasn't the big jet. And he tried everything. He's coming in and out, and we figured, well, he's done, and then he comes back in with a roll of duct tape, and I'm sitting like one or two rows ahead of it, and I hear, and he's pulling the duct tape, and I look around, and he's duct taping the emergency door closed. So that was quite a thing. So, 5 years, and I'll tell you what.
Yep.
Those 5 years changed 5 years ago. They changed the RV industry immensely because 20, 21, and 22 were the three of the biggest years ever in the history of the industry. And, when you look at the numbers now, it looks like, oh, we're falling off. Well, we are down, but you got to go back to 2019 to get a legitimate number.
Almost half, 2021, we sold 600,000 RVs.
Yeah.
And this year they're hoping they might get 350, and we got 327,000 in 2024, which that's the normalization. That's where we were at prior to COVID.
Right. Normal numbers.
This is the range of where they should be. Yeah. For the time being, but they should be doing a lot better on that. Normal
numbers. Yeah. So let's keep going. Good night ice cream time. Oh, night ice cream time. Great. If I have ice cream at this time of night, I don't sleep all night. What's our next vid?
Was that? Oh, that was Frank. No, I'm gonna have some. Oh, the Pan Mass bikers. Yeah, but they're not going to go stopping at campgrounds. What is?
No, they don't. They stop at the Mass Maritime.
Sleep. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the invitation. Both widows. Yeah, we got all that. I think we took all the videos. So we did Buc-ee's. We did registration building. Oh, what's this one, John?
At the vineyard. Those were the people that opted to just stay in the parking lot.
Oh, okay. With the winery?
Yeah, at the winery. Okay. So they stayed in the parking lot. Now they had to, they ask as a courtesy to go in and spend $25 or $30 at each of these places because you're still saving $75 or $80 off a campground.
Right.
By the way, if anybody has been down in Key West, we talked to someone that we met at a Buc-ee's. I talked to him at a Buc-ee's. Where was that guy that we bumped into?
Well, now see, you got to explain that. Most of us who stop at Buc-ee's can get in and out in a half hour. Can you imagine when DePietro gets to a Buc-ee's and there's 2,000 people and he talks to everybody? What is your average stay at a Buc-ee's? About 2 hours?
Well, it was lengthy coming back in Florence, South Carolina. It was insane. They were lined up to get in. Couldn't even get in the parking lot. They had to go drive. We had to drive around twice before we could find a spot. But I'm trying to figure out where did I meet that guy? No, that was a Harvest Host. That was the fruit stand in West Palm, in Delray Beach, something like that. He was in Key West the night before, $256 a night
In
for
a
campground. So the thing I was saying before my ADD kicked in with that other field, so they asked people to spend the $30 on the wine. And if you're not going to be there when the store is open, they just charge you $30. So our friends decided to just pay him $30, and we paid him $45, and we got a full hookup, and we went in and bought some wine. So for $15, we got hookups, because we would have had to pay $30 for nothing. But that was that. And that was before they realized that DePietro was there. Yeah. We went full time in 2016. So many charges. Yeah. $256 is cheap in Key West. I saw what?
$100 or a campground in Key West? The hell?
Wow.
They serving you a gourmet dinner with that?
I don't know. I would think they'd give you a $300 check.
Yeah. Do you take your bikes down there a lot, Dante? Or just once or twice when you come down for the season?
Bicycles?
Motorcycles.
Oh, motorcycles.
He travels with his motorcycles in the back of his truck that he tows down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or he takes the truck.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, you can't put them in. I don't think they're too heavy for the truck.
He tows the truck.
He tows the truck, but did you take? Let me go the other way. Did you?
Yes, I bring the bike. Oh, he brings one bike.
Yeah, him and Laurie both ride. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they ride the same one?
Nope, two different ones.
Oh, well, he said I was crazy. I bring the bike. I don't know whether
that's a good question. I haven't seen them on them. Is it one bike, Dante, or two? It may be one bike.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I saw something crazy.
Okay, the bike in the bed of the truck. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw something crazy a couple weeks ago. There was a 40-foot diesel pusher pulling a pickup truck that had a golf cart in the bed of the pickup truck and two bikes on the back. That person does not want to walk anywhere. So imagine this. You got a 40-foot RV, then you're towing a pickup truck with a golf cart in the bed of the pickup truck, and on the back of the pickup truck was a bike rack with an extension to fit two bikes. They were not electric bikes.
Okay, Dante's doing one bike.
Yeah,
okay.
Not one bike. Yeah, that makes sense. So,
You do that.
Yeah. So that was that. So I'll tell you, folks. We left Worcester on February 6th with 0 reservations, none whatsoever, including the first night. We didn't even have a reservation because we didn't know where we could stay, because we knew we had to get far enough south because there was another storm coming in from Pennsylvania. So the question was, do we do the George Washington Bridge and do I-95 and do the coastal route, Washington, Baltimore? And I said, you know what? Even if I have to stop for a day in Harrisburg and let that storm go by. But we made it through. We got all the way to 605 miles. We got all the way to Ashland, Virginia. We left at 8 in the morning, and we got there at 8:30 at night. 605 miles, which I've never done before. And
that's not your style.
Nope. And
did you stay in did you get to a point where during this trip that you were tired enough to just stop at a rest area for 3 or 4 hours and then continue the journey?
No. One night we were driving. That might have been the first night when that tire blew, where I said, let's just get off the road. I don't because it would have been the debris field of that blown tire. If it was on the right side of us, it would have taken us right out. If it was on the same side, if it was on the right side of the truck and the tire blew, we would have scooped up all that debris and, pulled our exhaust system right out. And then right after that, I said, I'm not doing nights. But a couple times where we were, we stayed at a rest area on the highway. We stayed at Love's on Saturday night. Sunday night.
Just at a regular Love's or one with the RV stop?
No, we could not find any of those. They were all regular Love's. But they all have dedicated. One thing with Love's, folks, is that they have dedicated RV parking. So you're not near the trucks and you're not near the cars that are going in and out of the gas station. They put you off to the side a little bit. There's three or four things.
Well, Jim Wheeler, who runs that program, is my interview next week on the Camp Report Show to get an update from him, because they were supposed to do 85 more last year.
Yeah.
And even more this year. And
and you know what? I have the Love's app, but they just weren't anywhere near where we were going. But folks, I will tell you this: they're anywhere between $35 and $40, and they are full hookups, water power, and dump station. So either dump station or sewer right there, so you don't have to go to the communal dump station.
So let me ask you this. What was the best restaurant that you ate at during this trip?
Outside of Waffle House?
Outside of Waffle House and Cracker Barrel. I mean, a real restaurant. You go in, they actually have linen tablecloths and nice menus and stuff.
The first food that comes to mind is the brisket sandwich at Seed to Table. What's it called?
Seed to Table.
Seed to Table.
In Naples, yeah.
Naples. That brisket sandwich. And it put Buc-ee's to shame. And I did a small video on that. I said, I know that I've been a proponent of the Buc-ee's sandwiches. So now with Buc-ee's, I've switched to their chicken avocado bacon wrap.
That sounds good.
Which is pretty good.
I had a club sandwich one time. I couldn't finish the whole thing.
Right.
It was like 3 pounds of meat on the sandwich.
Right. I mean, I ate half of it at one time, and then the next time my wife and I split the other half. So hammered down plenty of places to park that little RV. Yeah, I know it. Hammered down.
Little RV.
Yep. So that was another thing, that the national parks, you just go to recreation.gov. Oh, I know what I was saying. I left with no reservations. So, again, we did Savannah Oaks and then a Love's. And, again, you can't stay at Buc-ee's. And then I went online and I found the state parks in Pennsylvania, in Florida. Right smack dab on the water. I'm not talking about across the street from the water. I'm talking when you walked out of the RV, there was the beach and there was the Atlantic Ocean. And one night there was a SpaceX thing that went up, and I just forgot I didn't get my camera fast enough.
Well, mentioning space, I got the TV on in the corner there because they were supposed to launch the ship that was going to go back up and get the astronauts, but they scrubbed the mission for the rocket that was going to go up to the space station and bring the 2 astronauts home. So, anyway. Yeah.
Well, they're probably an abundance of caution after last week.
Right. So you got that right.
All
right. So, any last questions for Mr. DePietro as we round out the hour?
Thank you so much for the courtesy of watching the show. We do not take your presence lightly. We appreciate the fact that you spend Wednesday nights with us. We've been doing this for 17 years now.
8 years.
8 years. Well, 8, 7. I just was rounding up
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, but 1 and 7 in 17, if you add them together, you get 8.
Yeah, when you subtract 9, you get 7. So anyway, that's about it for the show. It was a great trip. 4,204 miles. Not one issue. Everything worked. I was able to get propane once. Diesel prices are all over the place. Check your oil. Check your battery fluids. We had a couple spells of torrential rain. One night, heavy wind that I thought the RV was going to tip over.
Now, how many 4,000 miles? So how many miles do you have in that unit now?
142,000.
That's amazing.
Yep. Well, you keep changing the oil in it. It's a Sprinter body, and we're very pleased with it. And looking forward to April. Trying to figure out where to go in April now. Any suggestions, folks? Let us know. Thank you so much for the tips on the Kenny Rogers locations. We appreciate it a great deal.
All right. Travel safe, everybody. We'll see you next week, and have a great time on the road.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.